Great morning, you guys. Come on in, come on in. Let me share. Hey, hey, hey. What's going on? Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Great morning. Great morning. So, listen, today is the day. Hey, man of God. Great morning, King Arthur. Good to see you, sir. You guys, let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me know who's here. Hey, Angie, girl, yes, we got to connect. I know. I haven't responded yet, but girl, my life. You already know. You see it. We definitely have to connect. Hey, Sydney. Yes. Yo, bed. I know that's right. Hey, Jonathan in Douglas, Georgia. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, you guys, listen, I wanted to come on. Let me pause. No, I didn't want to come on this morning at this time of the morning. Thank you, boo. Um, but God had another plan. Today is the day. Today is the day we launch Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purpose Ministries right here in Tampa, Florida. I'm super excited about that, you guys. I did not want to do it. I will be totally honest with you. But now I'm excited about the possibilities and what God has been showing me just in terms of everything, including engagement and listen, how this is going to work in the media world, the social media world. And so I'm super excited today at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be going live. We will be live on YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. We also will be live in the building. We actually will be at, I'm going to tell y'all the address in just a second. We're going to be at New St. Paul AME Church, limited seating, only a few people, but it's located at 4603 North 42nd Street, 4603 North 42nd Street, here in Tampa, Florida. And I am so honored and privileged to be partnered with my brother, RJ Stevenson, Pastor RJ Stevenson. He has opened up his home, his church home, right, to us. And I'm excited about it. You guys, let me tell you something. When I tell you that God will provide everything you need, I absolutely mean that. So we are excited to be able to share with the world what God is doing. I'm a little different. That's what I tell people. I'm a little different. And I know that I'm called to some people who are a little different, right? And on this journey, I know I got my bar over here. Shout out to 1044 Pro. Listen, that's how I'm powered this morning. I'm powered by 1044 Pro. Mm, mm, mm. Listen, hold on, y'all. I got to chew that up. This is my energy. mm, mm. But I'm excited because God is doing something new. And the fact that I'm different and I know I'm different and I am comfortable being me. How about that? Shout out to Ron K. Affirmed by Ron K. Check out her website. Her shirts are amazing. She's got I'm comfortable being me. I am making money today. She's got several others. Check her out. So I was here and like, okay, God, I'm just gonna rest. And he said no. And I was getting ready to put a title on it, and he said no. I just want you to tell them what I tell you to tell them. That's it. Okay. Prophetic drive-by it is. Okay. You all, this is a season where God is truly calling on his people to hear his voice and to hear it clearly and to act on what he says. Everyone won't agree. Everyone won't like it. Everyone won't get it. That's not your business. That's their business. It is your business to do exactly what God tells you to do, when he tells you to do it, how he tells you to do it, regardless of what anyone thinks, says, or feels about that. Now, that can be challenging, and I get that, but I'm telling you, if you will just get comfortable being you, just get comfortable being you, right? Then you will be able to allow God to do what he needs to do in your life. Listen, he is sick and tired of people who say they are for him, but they don't do what he says do. They don't treat people the way that he wants people treated. Like all of that out, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. No, God is looking for some people who have his heart, who are men and women of God after his own heart. And that's really significant. I want y'all to stay with me because this week, we're going to explore that. We're not going to explore it today in service, but this week for our Bible study lesson, that's what we're studying. That's what we're studying. Shout out to Brandon Dawson, who asked me the question, because, you know, that's one of my big things, who asked me the question, what that means. And I said, you know what, we're getting ready to explore it. We're getting ready to explore what it means to be a person after God's own heart. What is God's heart? And I think that's important for us to understand. I think sometimes we miss it because we don't know God's heart. If you don't know God's heart, how can you be a man or a woman after his own heart? Amen. Apostle just spoke on that. Listen, come on. Do you have God's heart? Come on. That's my sis. That's my sis and I. We are connected. We are operating in the spirit realm together. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to be talking about that this week. And I want to share this with you guys as I share the heart of God. You know, and I may get emotional. I feel it. I was talking to God yesterday and last night about this whole ministry thing and what it's going to look like, because he told me it wasn't going to look like anything that's out there. And I said, okay, God, well, if it's not going to look like anything that's out there, then you're going to have to show me what it's supposed to look like. And that's a little daunting to me. Like, I want to know, like, what I'm doing. I want to know what it's going to look like. I want to know those things. And so I want you all to just follow us as we go through this evolution, because we're going to be adding pieces as we go along, because right now, like, he's really big on me just moving. And so everything that he's showing me, I'm not going to be able to implement immediately, but it's coming. And so there were some very key things that he told me. He was very clear with me about what makes this ministry different from all of the other ministries that are out there, from all of the other online ministries. He said, I'm going to teach you how to do this and to do this well. And that was my big thing. I like doing things well. I like things being a certain way. You know, I'm a little bougetto, okay? I got a little ghetto, but I got a little bougie, right? So I'm a little bougetto. And so he began to talk to me about some things. And I want to share these things with you. And then I'm going to give you this word for the month of March, because we're closing out February. I want to give you the word for March, right? Because you need to be preparing yourself to march into March, okay? You need to be preparing yourself to march into March. So let me tell you what God began to speak to me about what makes this ministry different, what separates it from other ministries. He said, listen, this is what I need you to do. And I'm gonna read to you what he gave me. Hold on one second. Because last night I was like, okay, God, what, God, what? He said, listen, you tell the people what I tell you. Tell them. Just write this down right here, because I don't want you to forget it. Hold on. Let me get to it. All right. So last night, as I was writing in our fellowship group, he said, this is what I want you to tell them. I want them to be real clear about what this ministry is about. See, a lot of times church is about church and not about ministry. And so we want to make sure that we're creating an atmosphere where people across the globe, people across denominations, people across, religious beliefs are able to come together to agree on something, right? We don't have to agree on everything, but we got to agree on something, right? We got to agree on some key things, right? And so last night when I was writing, I said, God, so what makes us different? And he said, let it be our engagement. So, like, literally, as you are watching service, we want you to engage with us. We want you to comment. We want you to make your observations there. It's a place for you to engage, So let it be our engagement. And while you're doing that, we're going to have people from Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purpose Ministries who are going to be engaging with you. They're going to be responding to you. They're going to be connecting with you. Let it be the engagement. So there's going to be engagement at Passionate Pursuit. Let it be our follow-up. We're going to follow up with you. If you're on Periscope, we're going to reach out to you. We're going to connect with you. We want to connect with you beyond the surface of social media. We want to bring you into our world, even though it's a virtual world for many of you. We want to bring you into our world. That means that we're going to ask you to join us. We're going to send you something where you can give us your email address so that we can get plugged into the things that we're doing, so that you can find out what we're doing, know what we're doing, and be actively engaged in what we're doing. What I know is right now, there are a lot of people out there who may have gone to a church at some point, but they're not in a church right now. They're not committed anywhere. They're not connected anywhere. They're just not. And so what we're doing is we're bringing people together so that they can connect with us. Okay. So we're going to reach out to you so that we can follow up with you and be able to, yes, Sydney, so that we can be able to build relationship. This is not something where we want you to just come watch. Right? We want you to be able to engage, right? Be able to engage. So we're going to follow up with you, and we're going to next love on you. Listen, I'm telling you, God said create a place of love where we can love people right where they are, like right where they are, right who they are. Like if they change nothing else in their life, we're still going to love you. We're not going to judge you. So I don't care what your situation is. I don't care, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, none of that matters. What your religion is, what your denomination is. Those things are not the things that are going to determine how we treat you. We're going to love you no matter what, right? We're all about love. This is a ministry that's passionately pursuing love. We're passionately pursuing love, passionately pursuing loving on God's people, loving on God's children. We love you, and we love you with the love of God, which is an unyielding, unjudging love. It is an unconditional love. It is an agape love. And we want you to know that, right? So we want to make sure that you get that. And then what's going to separate us is our self-assessment. So often in ministries, people are so busy judging everybody that's in the ministry, but they never really look at themselves. This is a ministry where the mirror is turned to face you, right? Literally. We want people to understand that you got to examine yourself. Examine you. Don't be trying to talk about, oh, this is exactly like so-and-so. No. That ain't your job. It's your job to focus on you. Hold it up to you. Look at you. Examine you. Check out you. Correct you. You're running around here trying to correct everybody else. Correct you. Let God correct everybody else. Okay? You correct you. Focus. Okay? So it's about self-assessment. We shouldn't be in a place where everyone else is getting the word and they're growing from it because you're trying to correct everybody else, but you're not, because you're not applying it to yourself. So we want to make sure that you know that this is a place where you're expected to engage in self-assessment. Failure to engage in self-assessment is going to result in an epic failure in your life. You're not going to be able to move forward. You're not going to be able to grow. So God needs some people who are willing to look at themselves and focus on them, right? And getting them together. And then let it be our sharing. Let's not be afraid to share what God is calling us to share. Share it unashamedly. Watch God honor your authenticity and your openness. See, that's where freedom and liberty come from. It's in your sharing. See, we're so busy, especially in church, being worried about what people are going to think about us, what they're going to think about our testimony, what they're going to think about our story, what they're going to think about this, what they're going to think about that, what they're going to think about our current situation, that we miss God. See, God is in the sharing, right? And this is why I tell you guys this, because I need you to get it. When I share things with you all, I share them because I know I'm not the freaking only one out there dealing with this. And God told me, he said, when he brought me into ministry, he said, I'm calling you to share. You're going to have to say things that other people won't say. You're going to have to expose yourself in ways other people won't expose themselves, but do it anyway. And that's what I do. And so when you hear me say things like, I gave God my coochie, right? Because he said, well, you done gave it to these other folks. Why you won't give it to me? Because that's how he talks to me. Then that's real. That's a very real thing. That's a very real place. So people say, well, can you use a different word than coochie? No, that's what he said. If he'd have said the P word, I'd have said the P word. Whatever God say, that's what I'm going to say. Okay? So, I need y'all to understand that God is doing something. He's calling for some real ones in this season. I'm talking about some real ones, some real people who are called to real people. And the people that they're called to are going to get their language, their vernacular. It's going to draw them in. See, God is looking for some people who can reach the people that the church has lost and missed out, passed over, discarded, because they said, oh, you don't fit. You don't fit in our world. You don't fit the way we do things. You don't fit. Well, God is looking for the people that don't fit. And he knows that I'm a don't fit pastor. So since I'm a don't fit pastor, I'm looking for the don't fit people, right? And so I don't care about that stuff. I don't care what church people say. I don't care what other pastors say. I don't care what the apostles, the teachers, the evangelists, I don't care what the bishops, I don't care what they say about me or my ministry or how I'm doing my ministry, because it is not mine. It is God's. So God, this is the work that God gave me specifically to do. So if you don't get my calling, the work that God has called me to do, that's your business. Nothing to do with me. And I love you anyway. Okay? I may not agree with some stuff you do, but who am I? That's your business, okay? It's our business to make sure that we walk out the ministry that God has called us to do and not spend our time judging other people's ministries or trying to correct other people's ministries, unless you be a prophet and God tells you to give a correcting word. And that's the only way, because then it's not even you speaking, it's God. Key point. All right. I said, let it be our giving. Let us give it unto the Lord to create a ministry that is able to impact the world without straining and depleting the pastor. Let me tell you what's not happening in this season. Listen, God knows that part of the reason that I don't want to pastor is the last time I pastored and every other time I've pastored, the burden has fallen on me as the pastor, on my family. My family paid for everything. My family had to do everything. I said, God, listen, you better do this different or your girl will be like, deuces. And he said, you're not going to have to worry about that with this ministry. You're not going to have to worry about it. He said, literally, this ministry is going to take care of not only itself, but it's going to take care of you. Now, I'm not saying that because I need y'all to take care of me, but God said in this season that the honor is going to be shown me that wasn't shown in the previous seasons. The support, the financial support that I wasn't given in previous seasons, that he was going to give it to me in this season for the work that I do for the people of God, because he knows how I pour out and he knows my heart. And so he said, let it be giving. Okay, we're going to give, and we're going to give us unto God. Y'all listen, all I can tell you is this, is God is getting ready to do some major global things. It's going to require some major global funds. And so that means that the funds got to come from somewhere. So listen, we got to do this together. If we do it together, it doesn't take a lot of money from everyone for us to be able to do the things that God is calling us to do. But it does require that commitment. You know, one of the things that I believe about membership, because listen, you will be able to be a member, a certified card-carrying member of Passionate Pursuit Manifested Purpose Ministries. One of the reasons that God said membership is important is because with membership, there is both responsibilities and privileges. You get privileges and you have responsibilities. When we just have privileges, but we don't have any responsibilities, then we tend to be lacking and slacking. Well, God said not so with this ministry. No, you're going to have privileges. There are going to be privileges that come with being a member of this ministry, but there are also going to be responsibilities. God is not looking to raise up any more wayward, wild children. He's looking to raise up men and women of God who are ready to go out and operate in privilege, but also with responsibility. Understand you have a responsibility to help take care of home. With my children, I tell them, listen, don't think you live in here and you ain't got no responsibility. Oh, you think you're supposed to get all the privileges of living nice, but you don't have none of the responsibilities of taking care of living nice? I'm not just talking about the day-to-day, the cleaning and stuff like that. I'm talking about cleaning and financially. See, something happens when you have a financial responsibility. It gives you a different type of ownership. It makes you move different. You want to protect what it is that you are helping to fund a little bit more than you do when you don't have no skin in the game. So we're going to put skin in the game. And that skin in the game is the skin that is designed to help us to accomplish that which God has given us to accomplish. And Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purpose Ministries is committed to loving on and reaching people around the globe. And whatever God is telling us to do at any moment, that's what I want us to be able to do. And I want us to have the funds to be able to do it. So know this, know that while we may not always be able to go out to do mission work, we're going to support those who do mission work. We're going to partner with people who are doing things that we know that we've been called to do, so that we're not actually trying to go out and physically do everything. But those partnerships are going to be key. Okay, so it requires funds, it requires hands, it requires all of that. So we're going to be doing partnership ministry. We're going to be connecting with other ministries, and we're going to be supporting other ministries around the globe. So we're going to have a pool of money that allows us to do that. We're going to have a pool of money that allows us to be able to occupy space and bless the people who bless us in the space occupying, right? All of that is important. Y'all listen, those things Giving, sharing, self-assessment, love, follow-up, engagement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's one more thing that's going to separate us. One more thing that's going to separate us. Let us be real. Let's be real. Real about who we are. Real about where we are. Let us be real. It is our authenticity that is going to draw people. It is the fact that passionate pursuit of manifested purpose pastor is real and moving. You guys, application is everything, but you can't apply nothing if you're not real. You can't apply. Come on, y'all. Listen, you're not going to get the results. The results come from being real and action oriented. Real and action oriented. Let's get raw. Real, action oriented, and working. Real, action oriented, and working. I need to write that down. That's good. That's good, y'all. I think that's gonna be our Bible study. Let's get raw. Ooh, that's good. Come on, somebody. Yes, Lord, that's good, God. Ooh, you did that right, God. Real, action-oriented, and working. Raw. Let's get raw. That's going to be our Bible. So y'all see how he's dropping stuff? He just is dropping things as I go along. It's like, let's get raw. Real, action-oriented, and working. Working on us. Come on, somebody. Let's work on us. Now, having said that about Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purpose Ministries, Inc., located right here in Tampa, Florida, let me now release to you what it is that God is saying concerning March. God says that right now he's giving marching orders, so that you can march into March. March is a month full of action. It's a month full of action. January and February have been preparation for marching out what's happening in the month of March. March is the time when you are preparing to launch into spring. It is the time where you're in the middle of Lent. You like everything is about movement this month. The month of March. The month of March is about movement. It's about marching. Matter of fact, hold on one second. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. So, listen to this. The definition of March. Walk in a military manner with a regular, measured tread. Walk in a military manner with a regular, measured tread, which means that there is system to your walk. You're walking systematically, and it is in rhythm, and it is in unison. March. Walk in a military manner that's disciplined with a regular, consistent, measured. That means that it is like do, tread. Let me look up tread. Okay. All right. Tread. Listen to this. Listen. So I'm going to give you some different definitions and I want y'all to hear them. Okay. Set one's foot down on top of. Set one's foot down on top of. Okay. That's one. Walk on or along like a path, right? Press down into the ground or another surface with the feet. Now check this out. Crush or flatten something with the feet. Tread. A measured tread. So in a measured fashion, Let me hold on. Let me look up measured. I want y'all to get it all. I want y'all to understand what God is saying. Measured, having a slow, regular rhythm. Having a slow, regular rhythm. Okay, that's one. Hold on. Yeah. So it's a consistent thing. Everything, listen to me, everything doesn't have to be super fast, but what God is doing is he's blowing his ruach breath on our slow measured movements, right? So that he's speeding them up. So it's like boom, 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 boom. It's consistent, it's strong, it's firm, it's getting it done. Okay. Everything is, let me say this. There are going to be some things where you need that slow measured movement, right? He's going to blow on it. It's not going to be slow. It's not going to be turtle slow, right? But it's not going to be rabbit fast. Okay. And there's some things that in your slow measured movements, it's going to be like leaps. Like you're taking a slow measured movement and then something just happens. You're like, what? You're like, it's done. Okay. So the month of March is about executing God's marching orders. It's about executing God's marching orders. He's going to give you very specific things to do. You do what he tells you to do. You do them the way he tells you to do them. And you do them with great passion. Okay. And when you do that, he's going to blow his ruach breath on them. And you're going to discover that your slow measured tread, your slow measured movement, your military style movement that's operating in unison. Have you ever tried to walk in unison with someone and they're like, it's not steady, it's not consistent? It's hard to do that. So he says, I'm giving you measured movement, discipline, order, in order to get you to where I'm taking you. And in the meantime, as you're doing that, and people are able to lock step with you, listen, people can't lock step with you if you just running, okay, all over. He's doing it like this, and then he's going to go, and everybody gets there. How about that? Everybody gets there. God is doing something. I'm telling y'all, God is doing something so supernatural in this season that people's minds are going to be blown by what happens. Watch what I tell you. He says, baby, if you just do this, I'll do this. I felt that in the spirit. If you just do this, I'll do this. So I need you to get in step. Get in step with what God is doing. Get in step with it. Because as you get in step with it, he's going to go and it's going to blow up. So is there a Mary watching? Is there a Mary watching? If there's a Mary watching, can you drop comment Mary? If there's a Mary watching, if you know a Mary, tag her, share this with her, because there's something that's happening for the Marys in the world. Something happening for the Marys in the world. And this is a significant time for Marys. I'm going to tell y'all why. My God. I see this going to be a name day. Yep, this is going to be a name day. I feel it. So for the Marys, If your name is Mary, this is what you need to understand about what's happening in this season of your life. God has given you great responsibility to carry and to care for. Think about who Mary was in the Bible. Mary was the mother of Jesus. You had Mary Magdalene, and you had Mary, the sister of Martha and Lazarus, right? All of them loved Jesus, and they took care of him, right? They took care of him. They supported him. They followed him. Marys are very supportive, right? Mary, in this season, what I need you to understand is God is sending people to support you. God is sending people to take care of you. God is sending people to love on you. So if your name is Mary, I need you to pay attention and be open to people taking care of you, blessing you, loving on you. You know, something that you normally do for other people, they're going to do for you if your name is Mary. Sarah, for the Sarahs out there, this is what I hear God saying. He says, I'm breathing on your dry womb. He said, I'm breathing on your dry womb. And I want you to understand what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about having physical babies, although that could be it. But I'm really talking about God birthing the thing that he has deposited inside of you that you felt like or feel like is never going to happen because it hasn't happened yet. Or you feel like you're not qualified for it, or you're not good enough for it, or you're not educated enough for it, or you don't have enough money for it, or who's going to listen to you. For the Sarahs out there, God is breathing on your dry womb. He is opening it up so that you can deliver, so that you can give birth, right? Where you have previously been unable to conceive and hold, you're going to be able to conceive, hold, and produce. You're going to be able to, yeah. Huh. Yeah, you're going to be able to produce. So pull back out the things that God has spoken to you. Pull back out your dreams, right? And let God breathe on them so that they can be birthed into the world. To my Johns, where are my Johns at? Anybody named John on? John? Oh my God, he doing something. John, if your name is John, comment please. If you know a John, send it to him. Yes, because Jonathan and Jonathan is a derivative of John. Yes. So to my Johns and my Jonathans, So if your name is Jonathan, you're going to get two words. You're going to get a John word and you're going to get a Jonathan word. And I want you to put them together to see what God is saying to you. Okay. That's what I heard God say, because he's got a different word for it. But it's connected. You'll get it. You'll understand when it happens. Okay. So for the Johns, this is a season where your love of God is really being tried. Your love of God is really being tried. When I tell you it's being tried, I mean it's being tried, like on every hand. Like all kinds of things are happening that would cause you to want to walk away from God, to walk away from God. Listen, I need y'all to hear what I'm telling you, to walk away from God. This is to my Johns, right? But in the midst of what's happening, it is the time when you must draw closest to God, because it's only in your drawing close to God that you're going to be able to get through the trials that you're facing. It's only in drawing closer to God that you're going to be able to get on the other side of what's going on in your life. It's only by drawing closer to God that you're going to get the vision, you're going to get the strategies that you need in order to effectively overcome that which has tried to come and overtake you. It is only, listen to this, it is only by drawing closer to God that you're going to be able to overcome that which has come to overcome you, to overtake you. This is a season where you got to draw so close to God that you're just talking to him. You're listening to him like you plugged into him like you've never been plugged into him before. That's the only way you're going to be able to overcome what has been sent to overcome you or overtake you. It's the only way. You got to draw close to God. Okay. I'm talking about for real. Listen to him. Jonathans. Now listen, you'll understand. Now, let me say this first of all. I want y'all to understand that I don't know what I'm going to say before I say it. So I just say it, and then he connects the dots. But this is what he's telling me to say, that you'll understand after you get the word for Jonathan, why you get two words. Okay. All right. So for the Jonathans, this is the season where God is calling you to lock arms with another, right? He's calling you to lock arms with another. And particularly if you have someone in your life named David, then you want to connect with them and you want to lock arms with them. If you are a Jonathan and you have a David in your life, you're supposed to connect with them tightly. If your name is Jonathan and you have a David in your life, you're supposed to connect with them tightly. There's a reason for this. I want y'all to think about this. Think about the relationship between Jonathan and David in the Bible. Jonathan protected David, right? David, listen, I'm telling y'all, God is doing some things with these names, right? Jonathan protected David. They had a relationship that people didn't understand, but it is imperative that the two of you lock up and lock arms, because you're going to be able to help each other. You're going to be able to help each other. Jonathan and David, right? Jonathan and David. So Jonathan, yes, you get the word that John got, but you also get the word for Jonathan, which is to lock arms with David, to lock arms with David. And in locking arms with David, you're going to have each other's backs. You're going to have each other's back. There's a protection that's there. There's a protection that's there. So Jonathan and David, okay? Y'all lock, and watch what God does for both of you. If your name is David, I want you to hear me. If your name is David, you are going to face your Goliath in this season. In the month of March, you're going to face your Goliath. And the question becomes, will you use the weapons that God has given you, or will you be busy trying to put on other people's armor and use their sword? God says that I am giving you clear directions to use what I've given you to attack the Goliath in your life. And when you attack the Goliath, he will be killed and destroyed, and you will be able to walk over him. He's cutting off the head. You're going to be able to cut off the head of Goliath in this season. In the month of March, March is the month to cut off the head of the Goliath that has been taunting you, and making a mockery of you and a mockery of God. You're going to be able to cut off the head of the Goliath, and you're going to be able to do it with a smooth stone, something you already have, okay? It's not going to be exhausting this time. So face your giant. Take out your slingshot, put in your stone. And then once that giant is down, cut off the head so that it can never return. Okay? There's nothing too big for you to cut off the head of it. Nothing. Hear me when I tell you this. If your name is Martha, God says that March is not the month for you to just be busy. Marthas have a tendency to be busy. Busy bees, busy bodies. Martha, this is the season for you to plug into God. This is the season for you to plug into God. Plug into God. Plug into God. You're going to have to plug into God because you get distracted by the work rather than the relationship. Plug into God. Plug into God. Okay. Taisha, Tylene, Tyer, Ty anything. If your name is Ty something, anything. Ty anything. If your name is Ty anything, if Ty is the first part of your name, this word is for you. Listen, for all my ties, it's time for you to tie up the loose ends in your life. You have some loose ends that you need to tie up. Tie them up. And when you tie up those loose ends, God is going to position you. He's going to march you right into your next thing. There's some things that God hasn't been able to do in your life because you won't tie up your loose ends. If your name is Ty anything, and I want you to share this with people that you know may have that name. It may be Tyrone. Yeah, Ty anything. Okay? Share this broadcast with them. Share it with them, right? Even if you got to tell them, go to, whatever time frame in the thing to hear it, right? But anyone whose name is Ty anything, know that this is the season for you to tie up your loose ends so that God can march you into your next. March you into your next. Okay. My carries with C's and K's, my carries. Okay. To my carries. God says it's time for you to let him carry the load. It's time for you to let him carry the load. He wants to carry the load. You've been trying to carry the load. You've been trying to figure it out. But he says, let me carry the load and I'll give you the instructions. He said, I'll give you the marching orders if you let me carry the load. See, you're trying to carry the load and march and you can't do it. It's too much. It's too heavy. Let God carry the load and he will march you into your destiny. But you got to give him the load. What is the load? Any cares that you may have. Any cares that you may have. Carries tend to have an excessive amount of cares. They care about a lot of stuff. And so all of those cares weigh on them. There's power in names, y'all. That's all I can tell you. It's power in names. Okay? Those cares weigh on them. Hold on. Those cares weigh. Let God carry it. To my Jessies, you've been trying to figure out, which one is the child of promise. But God says in this season, I'm making all of your children your promise. I'm making all of your children your promise. And this may deal with physical children. It may deal with the children that you're birthing, like the things that you're birthing out. He says, I'm going to make all of them your child of promise. And so all of them are going to begin to produce in supernatural ways. They're going to be seen in supernatural ways. So don't be surprised when you got multiple things popping in March. You're going to have multiple things popping in March. I'm talking about something like boom, 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 boom. Just multiple things popping. It's going to be measured though, right? It's going to be like boom, 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 boom. Manifest fully. Boom, 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 boom. Manifest fully. So know that that's what's going on for my Jessies. If people call you by an initial, all they call you is an initial, right? If they call you by one or two initials, right? Then I need you to know that this word is for you. Listen, if you're called by an initial, doesn't matter what that initial is. So clearly this is a word for me too. Okay. Doesn't matter what that initial is. If people call you by an initial, this is what God is saying. God is saying that he has deposited so much in you that he can't have it limited. Can't have it limited. Anytime, it's like if they just say your name, then it limits it. But when it's the initial, he said, I can make it everything I need it to be and anything I need it to be. Okay? So if your initial is E, right? I can make it everything. I can make it extraordinary. I can make it extra. I can make it exceeding. You see what I'm saying? So that initial, what I want you to do with your initial is find adjectives that start with that initial or those initials, right? Find adjectives that start with that initial or those initials. And I want you to put together an affirmation for who you've been called to be. I want you to put together an affirmation of who you've been called to be based on the initials. Based on the initials. Those are for people who are called by initials. To my Richard, Rickies. Richard, Rickies. Okay? Anyone with that kind of name. Richard, Ricky. To you all, God is doing it's a supernatural healing mending work. There's a supernatural healing mending work. There are some deep wounds that God is healing in this season. As he heals these wounds, it's going to allow you to move in a supernatural way in your life. So there are things that have been held off, messed up, slow coming, that God is getting ready to take those things captive, heal you in the places where you need to be healed so that you can take off like a rocket in those areas. A lot of times with Ricky's, Richards, it deals with the heart. Heart is a key. It's a key thing for you all. It's a key thing. And because it's a key thing, your heart, it either does one or two things, right? You either put it on lock or it's very tender and it's easily damaged. So you either put it on lock or it's very tender and it's easily damaged. And so what is happening in this season is, if you've put a barrier around your heart, he's removing the barrier so that it can be open for full love. And if you have been wounded in the heart, he's healing it so that you can receive new love, right? A love like God. It's an agape love, right? But for my Ricky's, that's what God is doing, okay? So know that, okay? Know that everything that you're going through right now is on purpose and it's for you. It's working for you. It's not working against you. There is a healing like you've never experienced before in your life that's going to allow you to move forward in your life. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. So just know that. Know that. To my Terrence and Terry's. For you all, what's going on right now is a purging. God is purging you of the stuff that's in you that interferes with your ability to move forward in relationship. He's purging you. It's some stuff there. He's purging you of it because it's going to allow you to move forward in relationships, not just romantic relationships, but business relationships, things that have interfered in the past with your ability to do that, to do relationships. Then that's what's happening. That's what's happening. To my Regina's, names like that. God is revealing. This is what I hear. I hear revealing. He's revealing himself to you anew. And he's revealing himself in a way that is liberating to you. Because you have a tendency to be drawn to regimen. Regina. Y'all hear that? Reggie, rigid. Yeah. So God is literally removing the rigidity off your life. You have a tendency to be drawn to the rigid. You like the rigid because it gives you clear lines. God says, I'm blurring the lines. He says, I'm blurring the lines so that you'll move in my flow. He says, I'm blurring the lines so that you can move in my flow. To my Eileen's, that's A Eileen's and E Eileen's. To my Eileen's, he said, I'm opening your eyes that you might see. I'm opening your eyes that you might see. Eileen's, I'm opening your eyes that you might see. And that you might not be confused or confounded, but you will see clearly what God is doing. You will see clearly what God is doing. And you will be able to see it in a way that will cause you to move and make the necessary adjustments in your life. He says, I'm opening your eyes so the blinders are coming off. I'm opening your eyes so that you can move as I'm directing you. I'm opening your eyes. This is to my Eileen's with an A or Eileen's with an E. Yeah, Terrence, you're going to have to go back and look at it, baby. You're going to have to go back and catch it, okay? Marks and Marcus. Marcus, Marquise, Marquel, Mark, anything Mar. To you. God says that there is it's a shifting that's coming. Like it's a shift. He is marking. He is shifting you and he's marking the path. Baby, don't eat let me get my seafood. The babies is in here. The babies is in here, y'all. I was eating seafood. I know y'all smell it. Pepper and Cain. I know y'all smell it. But to the Marquites, Marcus, Markel, anything, right? He said there's a shifting that coming, and I am marking the path. I'm marking the path. You're going to see signs along the way of where to go and what to do. That's the Marcus, Marquise, Marquel, Markel, anything right? He's shifting you and he's marking the path. He's shifting you and he's marking the path, right? To my arts, that's Artesia, Arthur, Art, anyone with an art at the beginning of their name, right? God says that this is the season where I'm blowing on your creative. I'm blowing on your creative. Your creative is really coming forth. Your creative eye, your creative voice, your creative vision, your creative, okay? Art, anything that starts with art, Artesia, Arthur, art, any of the art names, If art is at the beginning of your name, this is for you, okay? To my Phillips, Phil, Philomena, anything feel in the front of it. He said that I'm reopening your ability to feel because you kind of shut it off. He said, I'm reopening your ability to feel because you shut it off. He said, but I need you to feel because I need you to get resolution. See, when you fail to feel, it's difficult for you to get resolution because you're not feeling anything. So to my feels, Philomenas, Philip, anything with feel in the front of it, he's working on your feelings, right? He's activating your feelings. You're going to feel, okay? So that you can get resolution and he can heal you. If you have a name that I have not called, then I want you to drop your name in the comments. Drop your name in the comments and let me tell you what I'm getting for you. If you have a name that I haven't called, drop it in the comments. And if I've called it, I'm going to tell you I've called it and you can go back and look at it. Okay. If by chance you watch this broadcast later, and as you watch it, you don't hear me say your name. You don't hear me say a derivative of your name. What I want you to do is I want you to inbox me, and I'm going to give you what God is saying for that particular name. If you're not a part of the Prophetic Drive-By group, I want you to join the Prophetic Drive-By group. Join the Prophetic Drive-By group. And I'm going to drop some things in there according to names. Chelsea's. To my Chelsea's. Now, this is going to be for my Chelsea's and my Kelsea's. Chelsea's and Kelsea's. Okay? Chelsea's and Kelsea's. Okay? All right. For my Chelsea's and my Kelsea's. This is a season where, he's taking you out to sea. He's taking you out to sea. Listen, he's taking you out to sea. What does that mean? He's taking you into the deep. He's taking you into the deep. And what I hear him say is, cast your net on the other side. Cast your net on the other side. You may be in a season where you haven't reaped a harvest. You haven't been able to get a catch on the side that you're on. He says, cast your net on the other side, and you're going to bring in a great harvest. Don't just pull your nets in, clean them, and say, I'm done. I didn't catch anything. He said, cast your net on the other side, and you're going to pull in a great harvest because you're in the deep. My Chelsea's and my Kelsea's, you've been in shallow water. It's time for you to go out into the deep and cast your net on the other side. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get my Jacqueline's, my Jackie's, and then I'm going to get my Sheila's and my Maya's. Jacqueline and Jackie's. He said, though it looks as though your life has been jacked up. This is Jacqueline, Jackie's, Jack, any of those names. Okay. This is male and female. Even though it may look as though your life has been jacked up, I was using your life for a purpose. Everything that you've gone through has been designed to prepare you for this moment. And it is in this moment that you are going to be required to take all of the lessons of the past and use them to not only help you, but to help others. He said, and I'm going to move you like a jackhammer. You're going to be like a jackhammer, able to break through the hard things of your life. So it's like a jackhammer. You're going to break up the hard things of your life, and you're going to be able to destroy them. You're going to be able to destroy them. That's good. Let me do Denise. Denise, to my Denises. To my Denises. If your name is Denise, however you spell it, if your name is Denise, however you spell it, for the Denises, you got to understand that in this season, you've been focused on taking care of everybody else. You've been focused on making sure everybody else is good. But he says that in this season, I need you on the knees. I need you on the knees, your knees, praying for him to give you strategy for your life, Denise. Like, get on the knees so that he can give you strategy for your life, because that's his desire for you, is to give you strategy for your life. To my Sheilas, Sheila, he says, I've shielded you from the things that threaten to destroy you, but you don't always recognize it. And so you think that nothing has happened when I've been shielding you. He says, don't despise the shield. The shield is necessary. I've shielded you. In fact, I hear him saying there are relationships that did not work, and you thought that God took something away from you. He said, no, I shielded you. He said, I shielded you. So if God says no to something in this season, know it's that he's shielding you. Know that it's he's shielding you. Maya, Amaya, Lamaya, Kamaya, Shamaya. If your last part of your name is Maya in any shape, form, or fashion, or your name is Maya, then this is for you. He says that the month of March is really designed for you to get pattern and order so that you may move into what it is that he has for you in the month of May. So March is about you setting things in place so that you may move into what it is that he has for you in the month of May. Literally, he's setting you up for the month of May. He's setting you up for the month of May. That's to my Mayas, anything with Maya in it. Okay. To my Ebonies. Hey, sissy. To my Ebonies. Regardless of how you spell it, to my Ebonies. He says, though it may look dark, it is in the darkness I need your light the most. Though it may look dark, it is in the darkness that I need your light the most. So this is the time for you to shine bright like a diamond. This is the time for you not to put a cap on yourself, not to downplay yourself, not to do any of those things. But this is the season for you to shine bright like a diamond. This is your Rihanna season, right? Shine bright like a diamond in the sky, right? Shine. This is your shine season. This is for my Ebonies, right? Let me go ahead and hit Renee's too. To my Renee's. He says that, wow. He says that for my Renee's, I did not renege. I did not renege on my promises to you. I did not renege on my promises to you. He said, instead, I've been preparing you to receive the promise. I did not renege on my promises to you. I've been preparing you to receive the promises. And so don't despise the things that you've gone through. You're looking at what God didn't do what he said. He said he was going to do this. Da, 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 da. He said, I didn't renege. I'm just getting you ready. I'm preparing you for it. I didn't renege. You're still going to have it. I'm just preparing you for it, because there's some things that I need you to be able to appreciate. I need you to be able to see. I need you to be able to deal with. Some of the things are in you and some of the things are in other people. He says, but I did not renege on you. I'm still here and I'm still moving and I'm working on your behalf. That's to the Renees. Who, God? Pepper, that word was for you too. The one for the ebonies. You welcome, boo. Um, mm. If your name is Cassandra, Cassie, Kosi, any of those names, Cassandra, Cassie, Kosi, those Cas or Kos, um, you always seek the cause. You always seek the cause of things. You always seek the cause of things. And in seeking the cause of things, you have lots of information. Lots of information. He said, this is a season where I'm going to give you deeper revelation on the causes. I'm going to give you deeper revelation on the causes. You're going to understand something at a deeper, like you've got a level of understanding, but he said, I'm giving you deeper understanding of the causes, and you're going to be able to deal with things root level. You're going to be able to deal with things root level. I'm giving you deeper understanding, new revelation when it comes to causes. And I'm going to allow you and show you how to deal with things at the root level. It's another level. I'm telling you, he's getting ready to unveil some mysteries. He's getting ready to unveil some mysteries for you. He's getting ready to unveil some mysteries for you. If your name is Peter, to my Peters, Peter. So for my Peters, Peters tend to be a little, it's interesting, right? It's interesting combination. They're rigid, but they're rebellious. How does that go together, right? Peters tend to be rigid, but they also tend to be rebellious. They tend to not want to be in the box, but they have some boxes that they create, right? So if your name is Peter, then what God is doing in this season is he's giving you greater understanding of the need for both aspects of your personality, greater understanding of the need for both aspects of your personality. So understand that what God is doing for Peters in this season is he's helping you to understand yourself better so that you can better fulfill your assignment. Peters have very specific assignments. Peters are, listen, and I know people don't want to talk about this, but Peters are designed specifically to fight against systems. Peters are designed to fight against systems, even though they've been built in systems. Now, this, I know it sounds crazy, but Peters are designed to fight against systems, even though they've been built in systems. So it's like they've been built in systems, but they fight against the injustice of systems. So they fight against the injustice of systems, okay? And so when you read the Bible and you read about Peter cutting off the ear of the man's servant, he like, oh, y'all, the system want to come take Jesus out? Oh, no, cut the ear off, right? He says, but don't pull back. Don't pull back. Continue to fight against the injustice of systems. Fulfill your assignment, but don't pull back. Don't pull back. It's the time to press in. So this is the time to press in more to the assignment. This is the time to set, yeah. If your name is Judy, Judas, Jude, Judea, Jude, anything, Jude, anything Jude, anything Jude, anything Jude, anything Jude. Refuse to allow past betrayals to define you and your life. Refuse to allow past betrayals to define you or your life. And I'm talking about betrayals that maybe you perpetrated and betrayals that came to you. Refuse to allow past betrayals to define you and your life. Refuse it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let me tell you why. Betrayal is sent to destroy trust. Betrayal is sent to destroy trust. And Judas, Judy's, Judith, you have trust issues. You have trust issues. So betrayals are sent to destroy your trust so that you won't trust. So that when it comes time to trust, you don't trust. You gotta let that go. Can't define you. God's got some stuff that he's getting ready to do in your life. To my Lucas, anything Lou, Lulanda, Lucinda, all the Lou's, to the Lou's. There are things that have happened in your life that look like you lost stuff, but it just was appearance. You may have seemingly lost it, but God said he is loosing his blessings in your life. To my Lou's, God is loosing his blessing in your life as you, and I want y'all to hear this. Listen, there's a two-part to this, right? It looks like you've lost things in your life, but he says he's loosing his blessings as you loose others. As you loose others, as you let others go, as you let hurt go, as you let all the stuff go that you've held on to. He's loosing his blessings into your life. To my Brandons, Brandon, Brandy, Brandolyn, anything, the brand. He says, I'm creating your brand. He says, I am creating your brand, and your brand is built on your authenticity. He says, I'm making you clear about who you are. And as you become clear about who you are, your brand will go before you. In other words, your name is going to precede you. Your image is going to precede you. He says he is branding you. He's branding you. Let's see. Like I said, if I didn't say your name, if I didn't mention your name or some derivative of your name, inbox me, and then I'll post it in the Prophetic Drive-By group. So if you're not a part of the Prophetic Drive-By group, join that Prophetic Drive-By group. Go like the page Prophetic Drive-By and join the group, and I'll drop those in there. You guys, this is what I'm going to say to you. In this season, God is doing a new thing, and you cannot behold it if you want to, but if you do behold it, then know that there's an expectation that he has of you, and there's a part that you play, and there's a part that he plays. You play your part, let him play his part, and watch what God does in the midst of all of it. Get ready for God to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could think or ask. I want to encourage you guys to join us at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purpose Ministries. We will be live doing what thus saith the Lord, okay? So we're going to have our first official worship service. We will be live in Tampa, limited seating. in Tampa and live online. Expect to come and engage. This is not church as usual. This is engagement for growth and development and manifestation. That's what we're all about. So if you would go to, and you can join us at Passion and Pursuit of Manifested Purposes Ministries, fellowship group. Hold on, let me get to it. We are going to be at, if you're in the local Tampa Bay area, we're going to be at 4603 North 42nd Street, 4603 North 42nd Street, 4603 North 42nd Street at New St. Paul AME Church, where Pastor R.J. Stevenson is the pastor. He's opened his doors to us. I'm super excited about that. But you can go there and you will be able to join us live. It's 4603 North 42nd Street, 4603 North 42nd Street, in order to participate with us in a live setting. Again, limited seating, mask required. And then also you can join us live online. We're going to be streaming in the groups. We're going to be streaming. My God, we're going to be there. You know, we're going to be showing up in different places. We're going to be on YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook. So you will be able to watch the service from any of those social media platforms and be able to experience what we are doing. Yeah, something just hit me. I'm gonna have to see how I can do that. Instagram pending. Instagram pending. So stay tuned. But God is doing a new thing. Shall you not behold? Shall it not spring forth? Of course it shall. Listen, you guys, I love you guys. And I pray that God's best for you manifest, because you deserve it. Okay? You deserve it. All right, you guys, listen, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Let me get ready for service. You guys have an absolutely amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.